It's the Wait a Minute Show.
Bruh, ain't that right, Lopan? Wait a minute. Book it. Really? Really?
The Wait a Minute Show with your host, Jolani J.B. Bodie.
Ladies and gentlemen, what is up? What is up? What is up? What is up? It is your man, Jelani J.B. Bodie, once again, hosting this thing called The Wait a Minute Show. As you see, hey, we got a little different attire going on this time. And I think I like it. It's comfy. It feels real cool. So hopefully you like it as well. But we are here to talk about sports like we always are. And I am talking about we. So it's not just me, it is he, it is him, it is none other than the infamous Lopan is in the building with me as well.
Indeed.
So Lopan is here. He's going to keep me on the straight and narrow. I really should keep him on the straight and narrow, but he's going to keep me on the straight and narrow to get through these things. So NBA talk, right? Wembanyama, Summer League. He's out there. We're going to get into that in just a moment. We're going to get into the Dame news. His agent got a message for some people out there, some messages. And we're going to touch base on a little bit of the NFL. And NBA has, kind of some rules and some things that's going to be changing, during the season as well that we're going to touch base on. But you saw it right there. Right there. Hopefully I'm pointing the right way. It popped up out of there, but make sure subscribe to the channel, man. Subscribe to the YouTube channel. Scan, you see it right there. Scan me. So scan it. You can go in and subscribe to the channel. But let's get back to what we are here to talk about, and that is sport. Oh, and let me say this before I go any further. I haven't done one in a while, but because of the governor, Vince Wright, he triggered me. I got a Big L award that I'm going to give out before the end of the show. And I'm going to be proud to give this one out.
Indeed.
That's right, Lopan. So, Summer League is going on. Victor Wembanyama. Yes, we've been waiting on this. Everyone's been waiting to see. You got the little story before about the Britney Spears stuff. Throw that all out. They're done with that. This is what everybody was waiting to see, was his debut in the NBA. Not regular season or anything like that, but Summer League. He's going to be going up against some different competition, right? So didn't work out quietly as they planned it, probably. To me, I think it's not, as bad as some people might make it, but offensively didn't really have a good output. Shot 2 for 13, had 9 points on the game. He talked about his conditioning, about having to get his conditioning up. It's not where, it needs to be. So not alarming for the first game for Summer League, but it is something to keep on the radar. But I'm glad that he noticed that. That's the biggest thing. But as far as like the rest of the stats, he did not too bad. He had, after the 9 points, 8 rebounds, 5 blocks, and 3 assists in the game. So offensively, yeah, not what you really wanted, but he still had some type of impact where he was on the boards. 5 blocks is 5 blocks, so he's a rim protector there. So you got some good things there. So going back to the conditioning and everything, and he got his, I guess maybe welcome to the NBA moment. I don't think he got it. I think he's really going to get that during the regular season, where it's going to be something consistent. But he did get yammed on a little bit. So you find out early, but I'm glad Victor found out all this stuff right away, because now, he knew it wasn't going to be easy, but now you get the focal point, you get the, the understanding, you go out there. He talked about, he was a little confused out there as well. He really didn't know, everything that was going on, but that's expected. That's expected when you get out there. You're not going to go out there and figure everything out day one. But what I love about what he has said, though, is that he pointed out what he needs to work on. He wasn't delusional. There are some guys that come into the league and things don't work out and they point fingers at everybody else that's out there. Or it can't be me because I'm the number 1 overall pick. Well, it is. It starts with you. So going forward, for him, this is going to be a learning experience. I think a lot of players have had this moment when you get to the NBA and you find out, just the summer league talent is different. And he's going to have another shot once when the regular season starts. He's going to have a crazy, shot when he goes up against Jokic. He's going to have, an experience when he goes up against Embiid. He's going to have an experience when he sees Giannis. So these experiences are just going to be learning experiences. But offensively, yeah, you can't be going 2 for 13. We need to improve that. We need to do what we need to do to make that better. And he will make that better. But it's not all bad. It's a great thing to find out, what? I got some work ahead of me. And I got some things that I need to figure out. Even Lopan was easy on him.
Embiid.
Man, I appreciate that. Lopan did bet on that game. And he lost a whole $1, and he was upset about that.
Embiid.
I don't know why. It's just $1, Lopan, but it is what it is. But Victor Wembanyama, going into this, I expect a better performance for the rest of the summer league, and then he's gonna have his struggles. But again, I harp back on you find out the positive things, and you lead with that, and you build off of that. Look. 7-3, they were saying 7-5, but 7-3 don't matter. 5 blocks is 5 blocks. 8 rebounds. Hey, he was impact somewhere, on the game. Not offensively, but you don't have to be, in summer league. It's really about getting your feet underneath you and conditioning and getting ready for training camp. So it's all out the way now. Some of the other rookies out there, Scoot, he had an injury where he ended early. Thompson is for the Rockets, and Amin Thompson, he had a foot sprain if I remember correctly. So he left early. So we didn't get to necessarily see those. Brandon Miller had a struggling first game himself, but he came back and had a better game. So that's what we're going to expect from Victor going forward. It's all about getting better. So you got to start from somewhere. He's not going to go out there and just dominate the best talent, in the world. It's the NBA, ladies and gentlemen. It's the NBA, right? And this is the Wait a Minute show with your man, Jelani JB Bodie, and we're sitting here talking about sports. And you already heard me. I said subscribe. Hit the scan. Scan that thing. Like, turn on, whatever notifications that you got to turn on. But Victor Wembanyama, he's there. Now, somebody that's already established, somebody that, got things figured out, somebody has had success quite a bit in the league, Damian Lillard. We already know he's been talking about, trading. He requested to be traded. We do know he mentioned Miami as a location. Recently has come out, his agent has informed other teams and other franchises that, hey, I'm just going to let you know right now. If you trade for Dame, you can have an unhappy player. I'm just letting you know. Right? He'll show up, but he ain't going to be happy because he want to be in Miami. So is it good, bad, indifferent? You feel a certain type of way with Dame's agent telling teams basically just like, look, don't even make a move for my client because you're going to be truly disappointed. And he's going to be really perturbed maybe if he ends up in your city. And I look at it like this, right? In professional sports, and this goes for any professional sports, it is a business, right? It is a business. It's their job. It's their career. Very rarely does a player hold leverage. And rarely is a bad word. Not rarely, but a lot of times the franchise holds, and we're encompassing everybody that's in that league. A lot of times the franchise, holds the leverage. So every so often a player will have that leverage, and to the extent of what Dame has it, that is rare. Not every player has that. So if you have that and you have a desired location that you would like to work and you can influence that, I don't think that's a problem. I don't see why that's a problem. Now the thing is that the Portland Trailblazers might be, also themselves just saying, hey, we got to take care of our team. We'll trade Dame wherever we see is best fit. If it's not Miami, then let them figure it out. Let them deal with it. And then that team that takes on Dame, then they have another job ahead of them, is to convince them that, hey, you know what? You're going to love it. You're going to love it here. So that's something that you're taking on. I would say I would appreciate how it's up front and it let a team know, so it's not a surprise. But if all of us, if you have the opportunity in whatever field that you're in, and you can completely call the shots. Well, not completely, but you can call a lot of shots, or you can influence a lot what happens in your employment, where you go, how things are done. You're going to think about it. I know I would. You're going to think about it. You know, am I going to utilize that leverage? Yeah.
Indeed.
Right. I know Lopan would. Yes. So I'm not going to, look at Dame and say, oh, these are the type of athletes. No, this is a brother who has been in the league for 11 years, and making those calls or making those requests, it's not just he woke up and just said, you know what, this is what I want. This is from 11 years in the game as far as like what he's built up and he's put into this game. So he can utilize that. And I go back to it. It's business. It is business. And this is what happens in businesses. People negotiate, people leverage, people, try to, whatever it is. Even some people cheat, and it's not this case, but Dame has a right to say, hey, you know what? I want to go, here and there. But the Portland Trailblazers got a right to say, you know what? We're going to send you somewhere else. And that team that's going there, they got a right to say, you know what? You should give us the opportunity to show you why it's going to be, great here. So Dame could, end up saying, yeah, I wanted to go to Miami, but I went to X team, and you know what? Wasn't too bad. We've seen guys now. This is a little bit different, but we've seen guys that tells team they don't want to get drafted. And then that team still draft them, and they'd be like, man, that was one of, the best things that ever happened to me. I'm so glad that happened. So it's not all gloom and doom for whoever may try and trade for Dame, but I understand why he want to be in Miami. There's there's a lot of stuff that's available there, but it's a good landing spot for him. And then I think he likes the makeup of the team, but at least his agent told him, hey, Dame gonna, if it's not Miami, Dame gonna walk up in there, and I don't know. I've never seen Mad Dame or anything like that. Dame Dollar Mad, no. So it is what it is. So let's move on from there, and let's get into a little bit of NFL talk, because training camp is almost here. We got about 2.5 weeks, maybe somewhere around there, and then we're really going to be talking about football. And a bunch of teams, and the Jets are on Hard Knocks, and there's going to be a lot of topics. We already know that, right? So there's going to be a lot of topics that we're going to be talking about, when it comes to that. But let's talk about a team that could be, possibly, perhaps, maybe be on the up and rising, and that is the Houston Texans, right? Laramie Tunsil, lineman for them, their star lineman, has come out and talked about a vibe, if you will, with D'Amico Ryans taking over as head coach in that team. And could that vibe really revive the Houston Texans? And I firmly believe in that. I firmly believe in a vibe. And to me, a vibe is comparable, or it's similar to a culture, which I know D'Amico Ryans is going to create a culture there. But when you create a vibe, that vibe, it's a positive vibe. It's everybody feels it. It's infectious. It's there. You can. It may not be a physical form, but you can still see it just by looking around. Some of it may be physical, on it. So I do think the Houston Texans could turn their season around like that, bringing him in. You just picked up C.J. Stroud, so you got your quarterback for that you feel is for the next 10 to 15 years, as they say. So you got your quarterback, you got your running back. You have Laramie Tunsil, like I said. You have a pretty nice defense that you have. They added Anderson from Alabama also in that draft. So you got a lot of things, but more importantly, you got the person at the helm that really I think is a difference maker. And for those who did not watch Houston Texans games because they're looking at their record, you got to look at those games that they played. There are a lot of games that they were in. And they were young, but also, hey, they were missing some talent as well. And they were in those games. And learning how to win is very hard, just in general. But learning how to win at the professional ranks in the NFL is even harder than trying to get everybody on the same page. And what all the stuff that was going on in Houston with Lovie Smith and I guess management and some of the other things that was going on, they're going to get some other players back as well. I could see the Houston Texans turning this thing around and them being a team that you really got to look out for in the AFC South. The Colts, I still think, they got they got some nice pieces, on there as well. So Anthony Richardson is really, maybe if he can, take over. I don't even know if Anthony Richardson is going to start. I know he's expecting to, start, and he's expecting to win the job. But Jacksonville is, Jacksonville just did the same thing. That's a great example of looking at what happened the year before and then the second year. Not everything was apples to apples on that situation, but they turned it around in 1 year, but they had the talent there. And I think Houston Texans got talent there, and they could compete in the AFC South. So I think it's going to be a little crazy, there. It's Jacksonville's. I think everybody's going to say it's Jacksonville's to lose there, but they're going to be challenged by the Houston Texans and some of those other teams in there. And the Houston Texans, again, they got themselves a coach. I originally thought that DeMeco Ryans, probably didn't need to go to Houston just because of all the stuff that was going on. But then you have somebody, when they can change a culture, and that's rare. When they can change a culture, then it's possible, and I think we'll see that going into the season. So I'm looking forward to football. It's got a lot of stuff to talk about when it comes to football.
Indeed.
I don't even know why you said that, Lopan, but whatever. He just wanted to get in the mix. Maybe he got in his contract he got to get so many indeeds out or something. I don't know. But what I do know, going back to the NBA, is that the NBA has decided, and they're implementing, and it will happen this year, is that they will have a in-season tournament. And it'll be in December. It'll be 4 teams, if I remember correctly. It's going to be in Vegas, and they're not, what am I trying to say? They're not going to wear regular uniforms, so it's not like it's going to be, the Lakers and some other team or something like that, the Nugget and everything. They're going to be wearing different uniforms, so it's going to be a different format. And I still don't know how to feel about it. I do know, kind of some of the incentive of it is that there's going to be $500,000 awarded to the team that wins the tournament. There's going to be in those 2 games that they play before the championship game, those will count towards regular season stats. I don't know how to feel about that. I don't want to say I'm going to, men on film hated it. I don't want to, say that, and I haven't actually seen it. So I want to hold judgment. It has piqued my interest as far as, when it happens, I will be checking it out and seeing how I feel about it. But I'm not setting my expectations really high. How about that? I'm not setting my expectations really high because I don't want to let myself down, with this. And this tournament I'm still trying to figure out, like, I know it's to change it up, a little bit. Will it be? And it should be. It should be. I guess the biggest thing I may be worried about is that it being competitive. How competitive, will it be? Because there's going to be teams. If players are playing in this tournament, there's still going to be franchises that's going to be worried that one of their players, could get injured. Let's just go ahead and address that, and hopefully no one does. And I really hope, because then it's going to be all this, this criticism, for, hey, why do we play these games? So the effort, and we better not get no all-star break effort. I know that. It better not be anything like that. So I am interested. It has piqued my interest. But the format, which I'm not, 100%, aware on it, I think the format is what's going to really decide whether or not this thing is going to stay. And I expect some changes to be made from the first installment, of it. But maybe just call me old fashioned. I'm just used to, us just playing basketball, watching it, and all-star break, and then we get ready for the playoffs. So I'm gonna remain optimistic when it comes to it, right? Now, optimistic. I don't know if I'm going to be optimistic on the NBA flop rule, right? So Summer League, they're trying it out, so it's not going to be part of the regular season. I don't think, but they're going to see how it goes. So the NBA, and Lopan has got my phone here. Thank you, Lopan. Let me bring it up and actually talk about the flopping. So it's a flopping penalty that is being implemented, and it actually did happen in a game in Summer League. So this is proposed to the league. So they haven't fully decided on it, but it says here, here's are some of the rules. If a flopping penalty is assessed by game officials, the opposing team will be awarded one free throw and possession, of the ball. A player who commits a flop will be assessed a non-unsportsmanlike technical foul, which does not count as a personal foul or lead to ejection. And then officials will not be required to stop live play to call a flop violation. They can wait until the next neutral opportunity to stop play. So there's a few things that's there that they answered. So the last one was about, hey, yeah, if this is going back and forth in the game, you don't want to break up a potential fast break, to call a flopping call. So you can do that later. Getting the one free throw and possession, of the ball, that's interesting. And then of course, these aren't going to count as personal fouls, which is a great idea. I mean, we don't want someone, catching a flopping penalty on some bogus call. And that's the scary part, right? Is because it's open to the ref's interpretation. So what I'm hoping this is going to do, I'm hoping that this doesn't be controversial and this comes back for people to criticize the NBA if they do put this in during the regular season, because you don't want it to have, and some refs will probably hold their whistle and everything, but you don't want to have a situation like that where it's determined by the refs, it turns the outcome, of a game. What I'm hoping that this does, though, because I think the NBA felt they had to do something, which I agree, because this flopping is getting ridiculous out there. I mean, guys are anticipating some type of contact, and then they're trying to sell the contact, and then there's like obviously completely no contact that comes, from the play, and it just looks bad. Or they do sell it like that, and the ref just missed it, and then they get away with it. So they're trying to cut down on it. So I'm hoping what this does is for players who do that, it kind of deters them. It minimizes. So it's not a big part of the game, but it makes players think like, okay, I just can't be out here falling out, and flopping like a fish on the floor, because one, I could, they're going to get a free throw and they're going to get the ball back. But then also during play, down the road after, maybe a timeout, the ref could assess it then, and that cost us, something as well. So that's my hope with the flop play. That's my hope with the flop play, that it eliminates that portion, of the game, because that's not what we need. That's just horrible. When people be out there taking acting classes, and then it ain't no movie or TV show coming on, right? You at work. I need you to play, and I need you to, I get it, there's some things that you can kind of sell and everything. I'm talking about the egregious stuff, the disrespectful, flops that's out there. We need to get that out of the game, right? So, you know what we need to get out too? We need to get out a Big L award. Yeah, a Big L award. I told you that I was going to give a Big L award out. So it's time for the Big L award, which is the Big Loser award.
Indeed.
Yeah, Lopan is excited about this because sometimes people just do losers things in life, right? Lopan has gotten it. I gotten it. A ton of people have gotten it. Other family members. I got in trouble for giving one of a family member a Big L. I had to come on here and apologize because they were gonna pull up on me.
Indeed.
Jeez, but yeah, my daughter is kind of gangster. I don't know. No, she's not. But the Big L award. So I said earlier that the governor Vince Wright got me triggered, right? And the reason he got me triggered is because he posted something. I forgot who it was. Maybe it was like ESPN Sports Illustrated. Somebody posted it. But they were talking about, which bandwagon are you jumping on? Look, you know what? I've been out of this for a while, right? So I immediately got into it because I'm ready to give it out. So Lopan is looking at me like I'm crazy. I have to officially announce the Big L award. So ladies and gentlemen, let's get to the Big L award.
And you are one pathetic loser.
Let's go.
We're gonna see the best collection of losers this park's seen for many a year.
You made me feel like a loser.
La loser.
Le who? The her.
Now, so let me get straight to it. You heard Vince Wright was talking about all that, with the post and everything. So, which team are you, going to be a bandwagon on? Is it the Jacksonville Jaguars or the Detroit Lions? That immediately got me triggered, right? And here's what I'm giving out the Big L award to anybody that wants to choose the Detroit Lions, right? My Detroit Lions. And here's why I'm giving out the Big L award. And bear with me because I'm a little triggered. We don't want you. We don't want you. I'm going to say it a third time. We don't want you. Because you know what? Being a Lions fan is tough, right? Being a Lions fan is a lot of work. It's a lot of stuff Lions fan has went through for this point right here. And it's still, we ain't won nothing. This is just people putting expectations on us, right? So, no, we don't want you. Go join Jacksonville or some other team. We don't want you. Because if you have not been through an 0-16 season, we don't want you. If you have not sit there and watched your team year after year after year picked in the top 10 because you're just like, man, we can't beat nobody. We shoot ourselves in the foot. We don't want you. If you haven't went through having a team, Jim Caldwell, who was on the verge of doing a good job and was doing a good job, and then he gets replaced with someone that just totally took you down the hole, we don't want you if you ain't been through that. If your team only had 2 playoff appearances in the past 30 years, if you haven't went through that with us, we don't want you. There's a lot of other stuff. So what I'm saying is that we don't need nobody on this bandwagon. We are enough as Detroit Lions fans. People who have said, hey, who's your team? I'm like the Detroit Lions. Oh, I'm sorry to hear that. Anybody who hasn't went through that, we don't want you, right? We don't need anybody on this bandwagon. We are fine with what we got as Detroit Lions fan. And whatever happens, because if it doesn't pan out, I'm going to still be a Lions fan next year, right? And a year after that, and a year after that, year after that. So we don't need nobody. Don't pick us. Don't say, oh, this is my team to look out for. I told everybody last year about it, but nobody wanted to listen to me.
Indeed.
Right, Lopan. So I don't want to hear all that stuff. So the Big L Award is going out to anybody who is trying to get on the bandwagon with the Detroit Lions. You have not been there through the dark days. Don't come through when it's trying to be sunny and shiny and bright outside.
Ah, see? Another loser.
Indeed as well, Lopan. No, we don't need you. We don't want you. Still, talk about us, clown us, do all the same things that you've done for the past 40, 50, 60, whatever years that you've done. Continue to do that. Continue to do that. Because one day, I may not be alive, but one day, the Lions are going to do it. They're going to do it. And if I am here, I am going to be unbearable. But it's going to be worth it because of all the pain and suffering that we have been through. So we don't need nobody else. We don't want nobody else rolling with us. We are good with what we got. So ladies and gentlemen, there it is, man. Big L Award. Hopefully you enjoyed it, man. But y'all have a good rest of your time, whatever it is you're doing, wherever it is that you're at. And don't forget, you see the scan me, scan it. Subscribe to the channel, turn on those notifications. Hey, like the show, share, whatever it is that you got to do, man. But everybody be good out there, man. On a real note, be safe, love each other, love yourself, and I'm gonna holler at y'all later. Two things as always. Stay positive and push forward. And I'll holler at you later. No pen. Let's go. Peace, y'all.